Many wolves, for much of the time, operate as a pack. They have such an extraordinary degree of intuition that their understanding of one another's intentions often seems beyond normal explanation.
Just a quick disclaimer, this is not having a pot or trying to be smart. This is just merely looking into and presenting all the facts and laying it out on the table so you can make your decision on subjects such as how people in the intelligence community are facilitating groups who are spreading false information, using psychological attack dogs against the people, and use weaponized words against people in groups, trying to divide people who attend protests against the government or try to set up groups, open discussions or debates. People are even being stalked all the way to their houses on days of protest. Many people have noticed a certain few channels will be going around to other channels trying to entice them to come to their channels on YouTube, where they are interrogated and vetted to see if they follow the exact narrative, whilst every message is recorded and used at a later date. There is no place for open discussion or debate. It's a very harsh and narrow set of ideals, almost like a communitarian or communistic regime. No solutions or ideas are ever spoken about, and I would hazard a guess that the majority of them claiming to be against the government are either receiving government benefits or working for the intelligence community and it's not anything against those who are on the benefits. It's calling out the aggressive, narcissistic, arrogant, hateful agents of Satan who are claiming benefits whilst posing as some savior of the internet from the tyrannical government of the world. Firstly, when you're setting up an event, whether it be Keep Britain Free, Save Our Rights, Stand Up X, they will want to set up an online platform and go to somewhere like the City of Westminster, who will tell them to go to the Metropolitan Police to look into the events and processions. And then how do you tell them about an event or a procession? You go on their website, you click on one of the links, you read through the Public Order Act of 1986, you fill in, it's about a 20-minute. Same with a static event, and then once you've filled out this, they will give you a time and a date when you can set up. So this setup, it gives you the sort of illusion of the main protest groups, which would be Keep Britain Free, Save Our Rights or Stand Up X, and then everybody will converge down in London. Now, for me to get to London, it costs about £40 to £50 per time. So let's just say I go to 10 protests in a year, that's £500. I'm also going to be spending maybe £10, £20 on food. That's another £100, £200. That's £700 just to go to an event that's managed by the police. These whole protests are all about is people's anger, and instead of going and smashing up Parliament or a certain building or hurting people, they allow a certain area of London where they can manage people. So when someone made the claim that me not going to the protests is facilitating the tyranny, I have to reject that. I believe that by going to the protests, you are facilitating the corporations and giving them money just so you can go and speak your opinion at a managed event. There's even grifter channels dedicated to looking into these sort of events, when really we should be setting up events locally in our own towns and causing havoc there, because there's no police infrastructure available or set up in our local towns, and they wouldn't be able to cope. Whereas everyone going to London, it's all managed, it's all set up, it's all ready for people, and it's all fake, and you're just facilitating the corporations what they want. Then you have people like Mark Steele, Kate Shimarani, David Icke, all pushing their false and fake pseudoscience, which has been proven by a number of people on a number of videos in a number of different ways, and that a number of them are funded by certain people such as the EU, funding Mark Steele and Kate Shimarani. And now what happens when people like this stand up at big events like they did in last May, I believe it was, at Trafalgar Square, where Mark Steele said 55 million people will die from 5G, and Kate Shimarani said half of the population of the UK are going to die from vaccines, things like this. It then sets a narrative for people to then go and push this information around, and then the truth movement gets watered down. There becomes lots of different echo chambers and lots of different ideas and opinions based on these echo chambers, so no one really wants to unite together and oppose the tyranny in any way we can. But I'm believing, and always have believed, that opposing the tyranny and fighting and protesting every single day, growing your own food, trying as much as possible not to give a single penny to any corporation ever. So the stage is set in the UK and the USA, or the developed countries. We have about 1 million out of 65 million people that oppose the tyranny that the government have set forth, and these 1 million people, probably 10 million in the USA, are entrapped by the government at the top. It's passed down to Whitehall, Tavistock, the police, the intelligence services, the alternative media. This is what I would like to call the outer ring of power. And then you have people in the middle, such as Kate Shimarani, Mark Steele, allegedly known as David Icke, Andrew Kaufman, Amanda Vollmer, Maxi Gann, Del Bigtree. You've even got QAnon, Mike Yeadon, Stefan Lanka, Patrick Salvani, Thomas Cowan, and all of these people since, I'd say, around April, in their own specific and certain ways, have been spreading false news about the coronavirus, and have all been debunked by a number of people. And I could easily debunk most of their information and intelligence and the stuff that they've been passing around quite easily. It's all schoolboy era stuff, and this is what set the narrative for this sort of 1 million people that want to oppose the government. And it set a lot of echo chambers, and people had a lot of ideas, and what this did, it compartmentalizes, breaks down, and no one really knows a way of opposing the government. And these kind of make up Save Our Rights, Stand Up X, these sort of groups to oppose the government, so they say. That was the inner circle. Wait. Firstly, you gotta go and check out the at least 11 videos so far in a playlist that I've done of the videos available so far. You might have a chuckle, you might find out some new information about this. I've also done previous videos on sort of government controlled opposition intelligence services. There's 6. Then I did put them all into one main video. Maybe you should check them out. It's in the government networks playlist. Just exploring, I'm just having a look into certain things and what I think could be, not what I'm just saying it is, or it's factual, it's just research.
I'm sorry, you've forgotten what it is to be a kid. I can see that it's surreal, it's proper. Girls out there Beatrix Potter, so they could be a bit of the wide wonderful world of breadwinners, 10-minute dinners, hedge trimmers, and other such self-evident truths. Like if you're SGT night, T-right, old crumblies mumbling about the end of innocence. But here's a secret something, that everybody's a suckling who is just adjusting. So if you rap without love for some amount of imagination, your shit is plastic. I'm so nasty plastic. If you'd actually ask me, I'd have taken full responsibility. Make you think you're on a pillar 3 with some military infrasonic subwoofer that can push a field of cows over. How sobering the thought is, my collective form like orchids using the forest resources. Watch the metamorphosis that gets dealt on the poor unfortunate to hang about for more of this and this. The universe is a fresh place. Boy, these humans are well strange. I know girls have helped me cell train with their gorgeousness, or just cause I'm dumb like that. Plus when some sunlight catches a curse that makes poetry, I know it's cheese, but fuck it, I hug in public, so must be a bit suspect. And if I said I bled from my butt cleft, we get more depth of subject than herds of battle nerds claiming to do this and that to you, but come in with nothing spectacular and can receive a little tap from my mother's wooden spatula. It's a natural reaction to keep our eyes hidden, but what happens when our defense mechanism becomes a prison? Times like this one we can remember the good things, like eating Yorkshire puddings and wooding teams of air hostesses. Shake up the sign and see what's left standing free. Focus with the band and we were planning to surround the monarchy. Baby, I'm married to the ocean. A great mistake is to anticipate the outcome. The universe is a fresh place. And then when it's the sound of silence, a sweet nothing, because I don't need a running commentary on product or some ego update. The world's a fresh place, mate. Why try and wear a mask so unconvincingly when we could be sincere? People are reality engineers, adaptable. You can dislocate your shoulders and scramble up the manacles. Human empathy carries candles to the stickiest darkness, and when we connect, the silent whisper becomes a part of us, man, making our eyes shine. Yeah, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. There, now look at me, looking at you. I think we're strong enough to let the world see, to not be bothered with gossipers. Because some people watch the people watchers, observe what occurs. Are you strong enough to accept another person's weakness? I mean, which peasant knows all the next one's collection of secrets instead of perfecting psychology's meet people? Ooh, I go from person to person, turning corners and swerving through more herds of humans. See it fucking be fluent in communion with the movement of the microcosm, rotting and blossoming. I take a lung of oxygen cause I'm reminded of the short and sweetness. And just so that you knew who it is, the new fluid intuitives, I blew a kiss at two little kittens sitting while I scribble this in my scrapbook. I want to learn to relax the way the cats look.
And sing it all day long, a song that never ends.
I'm absolutely sickened and appalled by the level of violence that was on display. Police officers were abused and police officers were injured, and we have a police officer that is seriously injured and in hospital right now, and that is absolutely unacceptable.
And now we have the boiler rooms, which are the small YouTube channels. We have people like Shield Destroyer, Old Bill, Jokersville, who are pushing what I would call the boiler room situations, the echo chambers of false information and interrogating people. They've also been caught in a number of rooms such as UK Column, Mark Windows of the world, just trolling and trying to entice people to their rooms. I mean, do they ever bring any decent information outside of their own rooms? They just interrogate people all the time who don't fall in line to the information that they're pushing out, that's been given out by people on the outer ring, such as Stefan Lanka or Andrew Kaufman, Amanda Volman, David Icke, and you will never see people like John Overkill talking about David Icke or exposing people like him, knowing full well that he's a fake. And you'll never see people like Shield Destroyer bringing up real truths about the law. It's all slightly distorted information that's very easily packaged, and so people can just accept it without actually feeling the need to go and research that information for themselves. People get themselves into trouble, people get stuck into echo chambers. Then there's this culture of trying to expose people the morning after when certain people have disagreements and arguments, and then videos come out the day after with people getting angry and exposing people for what they are, and using weaponized words to just cause more aggro and cause more beef that will go on through the next day and the day after, and continue like this to keep people from not wanting to come together. There's no opposition to the government or the tyranny, and this has all been set forth by the GCHQ, followed down the line by Tavistock Institute, the police special units. You've got alternate media such as the UK column, to name one, UK intelligence, the GCHQ, MI5 and MI6. And you've also got Russian interference and probably even US interference coming through, or with lots of embellished information that's just been spread around since last March. You've also got Overkill hiding the fact that he's a big fan of people like Fidel Castro, Che Guevara. His old name was El Comandante, his email address Viva Fidel, stuff like this. Then he goes and makes videos about Hey Cuckoo and Marxism. The guy's clearly a left-winger, a Ramona. He uses the 77th Brigade, Islam and Zionism against people as some weaponized way of debunking people when he doesn't have any evidence of anything, trying to hide the fact that he was involved in many psychological operations over the last sort of year. Same with Shield Destroyer, and this is kind of what Marxists do. They get involved in chat rooms, disrupt and delay the order in order to get people over to them.
You've made some incredibly important point there, which is that I sincerely believe that these people who are completely unhinged, making accusations, are used as attack dogs by the intelligence community. I'm absolutely convinced of it, and that is why I was rather concerned, because when these people are doing this sort of thing, then people, as you say, could get hurt. And there are so many unbalanced people out there who follow this stuff. And this is what discredits so-called alternative media, which was the whole point of this broadcast. The reason I brought up that document, which I'm going to be talking about in my Sunday show, 9:30 p.m, winnersontheworld.net, is because this whole idea of gang stalking and this trolling is undermined by the intelligence community. Therefore, it's undermined by academia because they just follow the party line.
And these unrighteous people sitting in rooms spreading this information, calling people names, interrogating, bullying people in private rooms, going down to places of business and calling and shouting at people, spreading false information. These people are satanic and evil.